Guys, we're back. Nvidia beating earnings expectations once again. We're going to talk about the implications of that for the current equity run, what it means for AI, what it means for really everything, of course. We got the latest on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. We got a lot to talk about. Answering your questions second half of the stream. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So we're going to be so back when we close with a 50-day EMA or 50-week EMA. I know. Nvidia has nothing to do with crypto. It does not. Nvidia has a lot to do with the way the market is seeing risk right now, though. There you go. Anyway, Jensen, CEO of Nvidia, the entire U.S. economy, the world economy, Nvidia. Oh, boy, that's funny. Go. Okay, so look, TLDR on the Nvidia earnings reports, okay? Data centers, $51.2 billion. Adjusted earnings per share, $1.30, beating the $1.25, $1.26 estimates. Net profit, $31.9 billion, up 65% year on year. Q4 guidance, $65 billion plus 2%. Wow, that's above the $62 billion that was the estimate. It's $3 billion above. Wowzers. Let's go. Jensen said Blackwell demand is off the charts. The platform is sold out for months. Market loved it. Stock jumped 35% after hours, calming AI bubble fears. ... For now. See, a lot of the AI bubble fears, the big conversation right now should really be around energy, because that's the biggest problem for the whole AI bubble, is that that's the real problem. America is short about 50 nuclear reactors by 2030. Can they get that done in time? It's possible. Will they? Remains to be seen. Okay. Nvidia has everything to do with crypto. If it would have come back bad, everything would have. Yeah. Imagine if Nvidia had come in yesterday and massively missed its earnings reports. Stocks would have cratered. Crypto would have cratered even harder. We'd be at, like, I don't know, 80K right now or something like that. Without Bitcoin, Nvidia wouldn't be shit compared to where it is right now. I see we all have varying opinions on the importance of Nvidia to the market. It is the world's biggest company, the world's biggest stock, and it is the fuel of the AI run. Now, I have thoughts on Nvidia around, well, it's obviously the leader right now. We have Qualcomm and AMD, which personally I'm invested in. Of course, you can always see my portfolio disclosures down below in the description, as well as the risk statements. Investing in anything is risky. You literally lose all your money. Past performance on equate equal to future returns. And I am not your investment advisor. I'm just a dude talking about shit on the internet, okay? Share my opinions. Anyway, there you go. Qualcomm, AMD, much more attractively priced. Maurizio, what's up, man? Welcome to the party. Much more attractively priced, okay? Anyway, pretty big day for Nvidia, because basically it's saying to all the AI haters, no. The earnings are indeed keeping up. The demand is red hot, okay? Walter Bloomberg reporting, setup poised for an everything rally, JP Morgan trading desk, given that there have not been any changes to the fundamental story, nor does our investment hypothesis rely on the Fed easing. We are dip buyers. We look at two key events: September's non-farm payrolls and Nvidia earnings. When combined, this could set the stage for the next run through to all-time highs. I mean, equities are going to go to all-time highs. Your crypto backs to all-time lows. Why has it got to be like that, man? Come on, crypto. Come on, catch some bid here, buddy. Look at this. Look at this day in the market. So much optimism in the stock market. Things actually went up in price. Fantastic. Meanwhile, crypto is basically jumping off a cliff. Jobs report delayed. The BLS moved the October jobs report to December, with November jobs print now landing on December 16th, a few days after the Fed meeting. That is very, very interesting. December rate cut odds plunging to 30% on prediction markets. Very, very, very interesting. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Fed's now projecting that Q3 GDP will be 4.2%. Oh, the U.S. economy is running super hot, largely, of course, concentrated into the AI boom area, okay? Obviously, Main Street continues to struggle, and there's, I think, a lot of things coming down the pipeline over like next 6 months that are going to see Main Street do really well. all this investment Trump's got coming into America. They're going to start building nuclear power plants. They're going to start building data centers. They're going to bring in a lot of jobs, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Of course, stock markets love the Nvidia news. Okay. We've seen the S&P 500 futures surge 1.23%. This is getting us up to 67.43 in pre-market trading. So just to give you a perspective on where that actually is here, 67.43 is right there at the 20-day EMA. So expect a decent move in stocks today when stock markets open. I know. The McRib relaunch is not kicked in yet. The most important part of reality right now, the McRib pump, baby. Let's go. I know, guys. It's been a pretty crazy few weeks. Basically, Asia wakes up optimistic. Let's bid shit. Europe wakes up optimistic. Let's bid shit. Americans wake up full stack Hitler everything. Sell it all now. That being said, if the future markets hold, which 3.5 hours out, I always notice the markets tend to get a little bit jittery on the futures side before U.S. market open. But let's see. This will be a rally at least up to the 20-day EMA. Not bad. Okay? Not bad. Still have a couple weeks trading to go for the month. Interestingly, Tom Lee still calling for 7,000 by the end of the month, which sounds pretty dramatic, but it's only about a 5% move, which is big enough for the S&P 500. Don't get me wrong. Okay. NASDAQ futures, of course, opening brightly in the green here as well, up to 25,112. Right here, just below the 20-day EMA. Okay. So that'll then become a proving zone for these. If we do get the futures holding into the open, that Tom Lee has a lot on the outline. Tom Lee is a complete moron. Opinions are divided. Tom Lee's a pretty smart guy, but here's the thing. Nobody gets everything right all the time. Nobody. Tom Lee's had wrong calls. I think he actually blocked me on X because I mentioned something about, I don't know, Ethereum or something back there. It doesn't even matter. Whatever. But, people will get called. I get shit wrong all the time. It's fantastic. Anyway, here we go. Future's looking good. Now, guys, unfortunately, due to last night's bullshit volatility, I got wiped out of my Solana trade at break even and my Bitcoin trade at just a tiny loss. Super annoying either way, though. Grr. I don't have any new trades open. I'll lick my wounds for the day. But we'll look at the charts here in a minute. Talk about where I'm launching for some trades to get potentially activated here. By the way, if you want to join me trading over on BitUnix, guys, link down below. Long the rip, short the dips, available to anyone, anywhere. That is you. Okay? I'm doing a lot of my trading over here these days. You can join me, and it's never been a better time to sign up. In fact, this current deposit bonus that they have going was so crazily popular, we extended it by 2 weeks. So here you go. Put in $1,000, get 200, 2,000, you get 400, 5,000, you get 700. And then the whale bonuses are absolutely insane. You put in 20K, you get $2,000 back. 50K, 5,000, 100K, $10,000, $10,000 cash back bonus. These are bonkers bonuses here. Okay. Here you go. Go check it out down below. Okay. Okay. So continuing the ETF flows, guys. What is this? ETF flows. If you can solve these 15 questions, your Alzheimer's risk is practically zero. Should we do it? Lark, I have like $700 million in trading volume in bigs. My man, that's a lot of trading volume. Anyway, this dude, get wrecked. Lark, my boy, it will all be fine. Again, opinions remain divided. Yesterday, we had $75 million in ETF inflows. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I want you to look back, okay, all the way to the start of November. We have had massive outflows, $500 million days. We had $3.5 billion outflow days, had almost $1 billion on the 13th of November. We've had a very, very red couple of weeks. If this is a turning point and the ETF buyers look and say, well, shit, I guess we're not going to Hades. And maybe Nvidia earnings, market's going to be back. Let's buy some Bitcoin again. In that situation, this $75 million day, while not in itself particularly wild, could be enough to turn the tide. Maybe this is when the tide starts coming back in. Okay, because those flows can reverse real fast. The reason they were all de-risking was because of the AI stuff, right? Because of the uncertainty around the Fed cut and stuff like that. And there's still a lot of uncertainty around that, but delay of data and all this stuff. So we had a lot of de-risking here, okay? Interesting. Anyway, continuing. So Julius posted this. Valuation reached 1.68. That's the lowest reading since the beginning of the bull market. Extremely oversold territory right now for Bitcoin versus global liquidity. Very interesting. Cold-blooded Schiller. Bottom or not, there won't be an easier risk reward for Bitcoin to try your luck. We've had a 30% correction. We've only done that twice in 2 years. Both times marked the lows. There's so many things that could say this is likely a low in the market, whether it be the fear or the RSI or anything else. And yeah, we can always go lower, guys. That's how markets work, okay? But not a bad spot. Nice to be here. Nice to have you here, man. 7 a.m. Good morning. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? We kept the key support level $2,900 for ETH. There is still hope. There's always hope is the last thing to die. My mission is to have more Bitcoin today than yesterday. I believe time in the market beats time in the market. Feeling blessed to be able to stack more sats at $90,000, $125,000. It's going to $1 million, guys. It's going to $1 million. Every day, I think to myself, man, I don't have enough Bitcoin, do I? No. Actually, almost getting close to my Solana stacking target. Maybe I'll switch back over to buying some Bitcoin again soon. Haven't bought any substantial amounts of Bitcoin in quite a long time, but anyway, that's a different story. Different story, guys. Anyway, continuing. Short-term holders are panic selling, okay? Dropped down to 0.97, meaning most recent buyers are selling at a loss. We've washed. Think about the washout, man. Think about the washout. We had the 10-10 leverage washout. We've had most people who want to sell have sold. It would be a real shame if everybody got out of the fucking market and then they turbo run it back up, wouldn't it? Historically, this kind of panic selling happens near the end of corrections, not at the start. This is from Stock Talk. Daily and weekly charts for Bitcoin. But the 21-month EMA still being held. ... For now. A monthly close below that would be a bad sign for risk sentiment more broadly. I agree. Negen Tropic. Bitcoin. This is interesting. Most likely, I'm responding to this guy properly. That's most likely the bottom for now. 140K possible from around here. Came down. That's a beautiful screenshot, man. Whoever got that? 88,888. Let's go. Beautiful. So the Crow trades putting in 85.90K is a great buying opportunity. 25% drawdown, death cross, high put skew, and spot absorption. This is what could come next. The move up to 140K. Let's go. Full list of this one, some premium unfiltered A-grade hopium. Okay, we can see these 3 lows here in the April crash, the 3 lows here, and this is such a fast crash this time, so it's absolutely wild. The 3 lows here for the November crash. If we have a little bit of confluence with charts here, then that is some great hopium, man. I dig it. That's awesome. Let's see if we can get something like that playing out. Sure would be nice, wouldn't it? Bitcoin currently around $91,650. Not perfect. Maybe we can see that being a bit of a double bottoming situation. That's on the 4-hour chart. So let's zoom out to the daily here so we get a better picture. So you can see now that daily candle yesterday is encouraging as long as this daily candle that we're in right now, we have 13 hours to close it, doesn't turn out to be crap. Okay. Shout out from South Korea. Patrick, what's up, man? I still believe since moving to Korea, it's nice to catch the live show every night when I get him from work. My man, that's awesome. South Korea, man. I went there a couple years ago with my wife. Beautiful place. Love all the temples and the temple food places. It's a good time, man. Okay. Let's see how the daily candle closes today. Obviously, we've seen some move back here. Okay, from 93,000 earlier today. That was the initial sort of bounce back. As well as this candle pushing up into the daily close on the good Nvidia earnings, okay? So let's see. You can see that on the RSI, we did come back down into this oversold area. We've had 2 bumps into it now. MACD here showing us still in a downtrend, but histograms are starting to curve over, and that actually started 2 days ago. So we need to see a flip here, but if we get a bullish cross here so deeply in this oversold zone below the zero line, that could be a pretty powerful signal. But we need a decent daily close today. It'd be nice to see. Otherwise, start saying, well, gosh darn, we've got everything we could want. We even got the good Nvidia earnings. Stock market's going to rip. Bitcoin continues to do nothing. That would not be good. Okay, we need Bitcoin ETF buyers to step in with some real buy pressure today. A few $100 million would be nice. Get that candle pushing back up a little bit. Let's see how we go. Bitcoin on the weekly still looking in a very, very rough spot. Now, we did come back down to this area of price support here from December 24. It was also resistance here back in March, April. Okay, it's a pretty important level. So dipping down into this zone, not the end of the world. We got down to 88K, okay? Chill vibes, ambience. What is up? What is up? Nice to see you, man. What we want to see now, price back above the 50-week EMA. That's $100,000 approximately. Let's see when you get up to $101,000. Can we achieve that in the next 3 days to finish this week out above it? Unlikely. Can. It's certainly possible. 10% pump is not off the cards for Bitcoin. But let's see. Let's see how we go. Also, look at this. The downtrend line on this is extremely steep. So get back over that. That's going to be around the 50-day EMA. There's your hopium, okay? Defend this line. Do not fall under this box. If so, we are in for some much deeper shit, okay? Price defends this. We get back above the 50 and above this trend line, and we're in for a new breakout. Under this line is absolute Goblin Town. We're like partying at a bar just outside of Goblin Town right now. There's a few goblins around, but it's not the end of all things yet. We're uncomfortably close to Goblin Town. Bitcoin dominance, I still think it's a very relevant chart. The weekly chart, this 50-week EMA getting rejected at the underside, signaling a potential move in risk towards altcoins, okay? Miles G Investments. I don't know why this meme's been going around so much for the Truman Show, but people have been going crazy over the last week. It's a good meme, though. Now start altcoin season. That would be hilarious, of course. Stablecoin dominance has actually surged over the last few days. Unsurprising. Everybody basically just dumping everything and rushing into stablecoins. Okay. It is technically broken out of a major downtrend here, which is not good. We want to see that retrace hard and fast. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here is that we are seeing the RSI getting up to an overbought territory here. So maybe this move in stablecoin dominance is a bit overdone right now. Tom Lee. He bought more ETH, guys. He bought more ETH. Tom Lee to the moon. Let's go. BlackRock has filed for a staked Ethereum ETF. Now, that is interesting. That is interesting. That could actually see some real inflows coming into the staked Ethereum ETF, into the Ethereum ETF from Bybit, because this is the thing. Those guys can now start saying, well, buy ETH, get 3% on it. Nice. Lark, did you see anything on the AI 16Z to ELIZA OS migration? I actually checked the chart today and saw that it's pumped pretty good. Still underwater, but at least it's pumping back. Fantastic. Fantastic. Don't know how it's going to play out. I think it's a pretty risky, speculative position. ETH. Come on, ETH. Come on, man. Tom Lee, go buy another $1 billion of this, man. Let's go. ETH's just sitting right around 3K here. When this move finishes, it'll be a pretty explosive move here for ETH. I mean, look at the MACD downtrend. We're well under the zero line. Look at the RSI downtrend. When this breaks, and by the way, we still have a big, fat, bullish RSI divergence here on ETH. So all hope is not lost, okay? This is very interesting. I want to share this with you. ETF data from yesterday. Well, the sky was falling. Check this out. Bitcoin was positive. We covered that. Okay. Wall Street stopped selling. And not only did they stop buying, they actually bought some dip. $75 million worth. Not the biggest, but they did not sell. ETH did have a negative day, about $100 million out or something, but it was actually the lowest selling day in the last week. So momentum is slowing down on the sellers running for the exits. Okay. What's very, very interesting, though, is the Solana ETF brought in $48 million yesterday, which I know sounds like it's not the biggest number in the world. I get it. But this is really interesting. As a percentage of market cap, this would be equivalent to $1 billion inflow day for Bitcoin. $1 because the market cap's about 1/22nd or something like that of the Bitcoin market cap. So that's pretty good. $48 million is pretty good, man. Okay. Lark, did you buy the dip? Ain't got no chips. Actually, I do have some chips, but not enough to make anything significant happen, which is fine. Bought some Solana. Bought some more Solana today. Nothing crazy. YouTube influencers will go silent in Q1. Bear market's gonna be a tough one this time, says Crypto Tony. Crypto Tony, I'm here. Rain or shine, man. Snow or whatever else. We make videos. Okay, that's what we do. Ridden out the last bear market to you guys. I'll ride out this one too. If indeed this is the start of a new horrific bear market, and that 2026 is not going to have new all-time highs. You guys let me know in the comment section here in the chat. Are you a 4-year cycle theorist? Do you believe that it's over simply because we had this 4-year cycle and it's done? Or are you an extended cycle theorist? Actually, it's interesting. If you're a 4-year cycle theorist, you want actually a green candle close for this year because, interestingly enough, a red close for the year kind of invalidates the 4-year cycle thesis of itself. Right? You get to pick and choose, I guess, which parts of the 4-year cycle thesis you want to hold on to. I guess the 101.26 high is enough for 4-year cycle theorists, but extended cycle, baby. Anyway, you guys let me know. Epstein files causing FUD. Probably not that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, whatever. Some people will get in the deep shit, but doesn't really matter. Did you hear about the Avalanche Granite upgrade yesterday? I did. I don't know if it's going to be enough to change the fate of Avalanche, but good. I'm happy the tech is continuing to get better. Grok is much more optimistic than ChatGPT. Lark, do you have any friends on the Labuan director visa? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. I bought the Monday lows, but comes back and goes lower. I will just buy more. Continuing. This is the Solana chart. The Solana chart, I think, looks the best out of the majors right now. Okay. Look at this. Very nice RSI downtrend. Currently trying to break that downtrend. I really zoom in there to see it. You can see right there. Currently trying to break out that downtrend. Okay. Similar thing on the MACD. MACD downtrend right here, threatening us with a good time, potentially, of a bullish crossover. You can see down there. So let's see how that plays out over the next few days. We've also held up on this sort of, oh my gosh, on this sort of broader downtrend line here. Okay, so we're still essentially within the channel. It got a little messy there over the last few days, but we're still essentially at the bottom end of this channel right here. Look, everything's trading at the 20-day EME, except, well, a couple coins. We're going to talk about those in a second, but not great. Don't get me wrong. Everything is still bearish as fuck on the charts, right? We're trading under the 200-day EMAs. We're trading under the 20-day EMAs. We're trading under the 50-week EMAs. Like, it ain't good, man, okay? We're looking for any grain of hopium sand here. And if we lose these levels, for example, if Solana puts new closes under the lows here, lights out, man. It's going to be rough. CL207. Why aren't people buying crypto? This is the Celestia chart. Went up 10x in a few weeks, and then it's down 99%. That was, good tech doing good things. Good Lord. Meanwhile, something called Celestica, I have no idea what that even is, but since 2022 has gone from, I don't know, pennies to $300. Why, some days, why the hell am I investing in crypto, man? Should just nuke half my altcoin positions and dump them into stocks, man. Even at the current valuations, even at the current stage of the market. At least I'd fucking own something then, These things are a lot less likely to go, even if the stocks go down for 5 or 10 years for having some kind of recovery, at least they're going to be there for the most part. Some companies go bankrupt, but anyway. Red Foam, crypto isn't in a bear market, it's in a diaspora. People who built their identity around this industry are scattering into AI, robotics, private equity, even Robinhood options. Feels less like a cycle, more like a migration. It's a validation in a sense. Crypto slayed the final boss, now we leave the infrastructure age and enter the apps age. A major consequence of that is cohesion begins to fall apart. A deep-end obsessive has nothing in common with the predictions market bull. We're not a single industry anymore. We're a dozen, and they barely speak the same language. Fascinating. Interesting take. I like it. Pump. Did pump today, but we're still not having that much fun. Still under the 20-day EMA, but when we do eventually get a bullish crossover the MACD, be a pretty big move. But histogram's slowly curving up, but it has definitely lost a lot of the sort of viral momentum that it had a few months ago, even in terms of how it moves on the moves up and down. So let's see. You got to get back with that 20-day EMA, man. They're really the same commentary for any coin. StarkNet, for some reason, is absolutely blasting off. It's up 150% over the last 10 days or something like that. Now getting into overbought territory. This is about something Bitcoin, and they're doing Bitcoin DeFi on StarkNet now, and some privacy features I guess they got. I don't know. I really haven't paid too much attention to StarkNet since I got my airdrop back in the day. Man, just these slaughtered coins. Look at this. Got my airdrop back here. Sold, I think I got 500 coins. Sold them for around like $1.75 or something like that. And it wasn't terrible. It was free money, but yeah. Wasn't great either. Anyway. Let's see. I'm not buying layer 2 tokens, man. I'm not biting. Not biting StarkNet. Zcash continues to be undefeated. This crazy trend line right here has been holding up throughout this whole run, higher after the initial Naval tweet. Very strong move here, continuing for Zcash. Currently coiling up within this big triangle. Break to the upside. So let's say a daily close over about $710. Probably starts the next move up, potentially to $1,000 on this coin from a technical perspective, right? Break down to the 20-day EMA, and it's trouble all around, okay? This is one of those runaway trains you see every so often in crypto. Shorting, unless you get some real confirmations of a breakdown, is tricky. People are blind shorting this without any sort of definitive reason why. Just, it's too overheated. People are talking about it too much. Sometimes that just means they keep running. Okay, so you're pretty clear in validations right now, I think, on the chart. Break under the bottom line. It could be a potential short, at least down to the 50-day EMA. Break over the top line, and it's probably a long up to $1,000. Meta now firmly in a bear market after getting annihilated for a 23% loss over the last 3 weeks. I guess I need to buy some more Meta stocks. Apparently. It's interesting, actually, because the technical definition of stock or the indexes entering into a bear market is a 20% correction. It happens all the time in crypto, so we don't really use that same definition. Now, maybe you could say for like Bitcoin or Ethereum or, gosh, they're just so volatile. Maybe you could say for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's had many bear markets over the last few years where it's gone down over 20%, but it kind of doesn't really apply to crypto. Everything's so damn volatile. It can run up so hard and crash down so hard so fast. Anyway, 4% of all U.S. stocks within the major indices, not penny stocks, are now 20% plus below their all-time highs. That means they're quote-unquote in a bear market. A lot of opportunities out there. Look at this, pre-markets. So we talked, of course, about how the pre-market futures currently looking pretty strong. Then you can see stuff like AMD. Pre-market's up $10 today after a nice 50-day EMA retest. Okay. We can see Qualcomm, 200-day EMA retest. Damn. Feel like I need to buy some more of that. Anyway, currently up about $3 in pre-markets. Okay. I know, stocks, great tech. They actually go up from time to time. Cypher, Iron, and more Bitcoin mining stocks get after-hours boost on Nvidia blowout Q3 earnings. This is Iron, currently about $4 in pre-markets. Not enough to get it back up over the 50-day EMA. Still looking on the other side rejection on the 50-day EMA. So if you're a big fan of this one, you could still be getting some better buying opportunities. Has not run the full gauntlet all the way back to oversold yet. It's all well on the way there, though. RSI is currently around 38. Okay. Guys, by the way, we're running our Black Friday sale. Okay. There's a link right down below. You can go check it out. This is our craziest deal I've ever done yet. Look, we run a newsletter. It's a free newsletter, actually. You can get incredible information for our free newsletter. If you haven't signed up to our free newsletter, there's also a link down below for that where you should definitely check it out. But we also run a premium service. Okay. Weekly stock reports, altcoin reports, DeFi reports, like very detailed reports giving you fantastic details and stuff. You'll get all that. You're going to get access. You can get access to our Discord group where you can talk to me and my team of researchers. We got a great group of people in there. Plus, this deal is so crazy right now. Not only if you go for the 6-month platinum package, not only will you get access to Discord, the premium newsletter with all the great reports every single week to your inbox. But you're also going to get all the courses for free. That's my crypto trading course. Okay, my Bitcoin course, my altcoin course, free. Wildly good information in all this. So look, this is going to go for another 9 days. Lock the deal in, hop on board. It's awesome. Oh, we're back. We're back. Got knocked offline there for a second somehow. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully we didn't miss too much of that. Okay. Can you guys hear me fine? Let me know in the chat there. There we go. Okay. Get that back up there. Okay, great. We're back. That happens. Technology, man. Hey, let's hydrate, guys. Anything to avoid our question. I love talking to you guys. I always love the questions. Besides Dubai, would you consider living in any other tax-friendly countries? There's a lot of tax-friendly countries, and it depends on the kind of tax regime. Well, look, we did not move to Dubai just because of the tax situation. Obviously, it's a great advantage. Don't get me wrong. One of the big things, a deciding factor for us, safety, obviously, high quality of everything, being closer to our families. My mother-in-law lives in Russia. My dad lives in America. And mother-in-law, she's sort of the most involved in the grandkids' lives. And so for us in New Zealand, we didn't have any family there. I mean, my mom moved away a few years ago back to the States. So it's kind of, we're saying, well, what the heck are we doing here? You know, we're paying 39% taxes. Country's been going through a pretty rough patch ever since COVID. And, you know, I could move my business anywhere. Why pay 39% here? We're so far away from family. It takes 36 hours to get to St. Petersburg, Russia from Wellington, New Zealand. 3 planes, 2 airports. Everybody's destroyed when we get there. Yeah, this is, you know, jet lag for a week. Not a lot of fun. So look, in terms of living in other tax-friendly countries, Monaco. No, actually, I don't know if I live in Monaco. I'm too young for Monaco. I think the average age is like 53 or something. Monaco's like a freaking retirement village, you know. Anyway, and stupidly expensive. Like for the, you know, you get for the money, you can get like a waterfront villa in Dubai for the price of like a 2-bedroom apartment in Monaco without even a sea view probably half the time. It's just silly. Look, obviously you can move to like some of the Caribbean jurisdictions, for example. You know, I think Bahamas is 0% tax, for example, a few others. Seychelles, I think, but I don't want to live in one of these little island countries out in the middle of nowhere. I've already done that. If I want to go back to live in an island country in the middle of nowhere, I'll go to Australia. I'll go to, I guess Australia's a continent. It's a continental island. Or go back to New Zealand. But there's good tax deals in other places too. For example, it depends on how much you make, mind you. But for example, Italy, it's got a pretty cool program. You can live in Italy for 10 years. And you only have to pay, it used to be 100,000 euros, which is a lot. But if you're making shit tons of money, maybe it's an attractive offer. But they've moved it up to 300,000 euros recently. So it's become a little less attractive. But that's pretty interesting. It was kind of low tax to make a lot of money. There's other countries that have very specific deals too. Like some countries, like I think Thailand's got no capital gains tax on crypto until 2030 or something like that. So there's, you know, definitely arbitrage and interesting opportunities all over the place. And there's countries that kind of have low tax, like low flat tax and stuff like this that, you know, I don't have any problem paying tax per se. Giving half my money to the government when they can't even give me halfway decent services back, that's where I start having a problem. When I can't get seen by doctors, my kids can't get seen by doctors out a 12-hour wait. Like, it's crazy shit. It's not good. When they don't paint the roads anymore, stop taking pride in the country, let everything go to shit, and the streets aren't cleaned and all this stuff. You gotta say, why are you guys taking half of the money again? Stop investing in public infrastructure, all this sort of stuff. This is all New Zealand stuff, by the way. Anyway, let's keep going. Lark, I've been following you for under a year. I've been following you for, I've been crypto for under a year, following you for the same time. Thanks for helping insights. You're welcome. Cheers from Vancouver Island. Nice. Nice. Never got a chance to visit Vancouver. I dated a Canadian girl who grew up in Vancouver. Well, she grew up in Alberta, but parents lived in Vancouver Island. That was right. Anyway, never got a chance to go, though. In Germany, if you hold Bitcoin for 1 year, it's tax-free, but everything sucks. What's interesting, you know, you see all these different countries now starting to talk about crypto taxes or taxing their citizens abroad. I think France has been talking about taxing their citizens abroad because they're broke and they have no fucking ideas except to steal more money from you. So they were talking about, one, taxing their citizens abroad like the Americans do. And France probably has the political ability to pull that off. America can because it's America. Actually, I think like Eritrea also taxes their citizens globally, but you know, who's going to enforce shit for Eritrea? Nobody. Not a lot of Eritreans around either. Anyway, but if France did it, that's huge impact. So they're also talking about, I think, a 20% unrealized gains tax on crypto because like, well, they're unproductive assets are sitting in your wallet, so we're going to take that money. I think the UK is talking about implementing a 20% exit tax. So if you want to leave and not be a tax resident in the UK anywhere, you got to give up 20% of probably your unrealized profits or potentially 20% of your net worth sometimes. I'm not exactly sure what the ruling would be like, but damn, none of that stuff's good. I heard Portugal is a crypto tax haven. I'm not sure the current rules in Portugal. I think it's got no capital gains tax on crypto if you hold it for over a year. Otherwise, taxes are pretty high. So if you're moving there and working, you know, even on, I don't know, digital nomads, they probably have dual tax agreements, so you might be okay. And I'm not sure on the details. So not tax advice, right? Just for what I've heard. So it definitely does have some positive tax regimes in Portugal, but it's not exactly a crypto tax haven necessarily, from what I remember. Australia's taxes, 47% is insane, man. New Zealand, Wellington takes months to fix the road. Yeah, it's bad. It is. It's crazy. They don't even paint the roads very often. It's just, you know. Cheers from Expo City, Dubai, my man. What is up? What is up? Nice to see you. Lark, come visit Singapore. Maybe I'll come to Token 2049 next year. I like Singapore. Big Singapore fan. The government's supposed to use their money instead of pocket it. I know. It's a crazy idea, right? Staying up till 4 a.m. at a business conference in California. King of Glitter. Awesome, man. Good morning or good night, I guess. Singapore has no capital gains. Singapore is a very interesting jurisdiction in terms of moving there, but it's getting harder and harder to move to Singapore. It's a very small place, and they kind of say, well, we don't really want a lot more people unless, you know, you're bringing like a big company here. You're like, you know, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You can come here. But they made it really hard to move into Singapore. It used to be really easy, and now they made it really hard. Too many people. It's a very small island, right? Whereas the UAE is still like, oh yeah, we got lots of desert, man. We'll keep building city. People can keep coming. Boom. But yeah, they do have no capital gains tax. They have pretty low income tax, very low corporate tax. So we definitely talked about Singapore if we moved to Dubai. We had a short list of countries. Portugal is very nice. I like Portugal a lot. Andorra, yeah, Andorra is very tax efficient as well. If you like the mountains and just quiet little towns in the middle of nowhere, Andorra could be a very nice option, right? Love from Pakistan, love from Dubai, man. Awesome. New Zealand's right-wing government is the worst ever. Takes all the tax money away from health, education, gives it all to property speculators. 1 in 3, 1/3 of the budget goes to basically the benefits, right? So 33 or a little more percent of the money goes to paying back the people who don't pay anything to the tax system. It's you know, it's like that in a lot of countries. Don't get me wrong, but still problematic. Don't want to get too far in the weeds here of New Zealand domestic politics. All right, not the most exciting topic for non-Kiwis. New Zealand has no capital gains tax on one thing and one thing alone, and it's not exactly as clear as it used to be, and that's property. So there's no capital gains tax in New Zealand on property, very specifically. And now they have the bright line test. So you have to hold your property for 5 years or more in order to have no capital gains tax on it. When you sell crypto in New Zealand, it's taxed as income. So if you sell $180,000 New Zealand, it's about $100,000 US of crypto, you get taxed at 39%. Okay. And that's, so if you have a job where you make $100,000 a year, New Zealand, and you sell $80,000 of crypto, you're now, anything earned beyond that. Let's say you sell another $100,000 of crypto. Well, that $100,000 after 180 is taxed at 39%. Gold, when I sold my gold, I had to pay shit tons of capital gains tax on that. There's a lot of things. Stocks is a little bit of a funkier area. As long as you don't intend to sell it, you don't get taxed on it. It's weird. Anyway, continuing. A lot of different tax laws around the world. No capital gains on crypto in South Korea until 2027. 2026 is the year, man. Take some profits. Holy shit. What are the chances of Bitcoin being confiscated like gold was in the USA? It's a little harder to find, but we have definitely had that conspiracy theory floating around about the BlackRock ETF. We shall see. Has everyone watched Raoul Pal's video from yesterday? 2026 peak, nothing to worry about. There's a lot of good reason to think we're in an extended cycle, and we talked extensively about that on the channel here. The ISM, PMI, all that kind of stuff. I mean, look, there's two things. There's an incredibly favorable macro scenario right now with a very clear window for good things to happen in 2026. And then there's the 50-day EMA. Then there's been the price action, the Bitcoin ETFs unloading, OGs unloading, all that kind of stuff. So short term, we have definitely had some problems, and I don't like the way the charts look right now. There's not a lot to be super optimistic about in the charts right now until we start getting a little bit of strength built back in. For 2K, you can set up a company in Cyprus, pay 12.5% corporation tax, pay tax-free dividends. You don't even have to visit the country, and it's going down to 8%. Nice. Cyprus is definitely punches above his weight. Small island in the Mediterranean, they gotta figure out a way. I think they have a golden visa program too. If you ever want to go and live in Greece Greece. They speak Greek, but it's not Greece. If you ever go live in Cyprus, beautiful island, Mediterranean culture, and ancient history, and have very, very favorable tax regimes. Something to look into. Paris, Ontario. They have a London, Ontario too, don't they? Oh my! You ever hear about that lady who got on the wrong plane, ended up in London, Ontario instead of going to London, England? Oh my God! How do you do these things? Portugal, DYR, 28% on property, 20% on business, plus lots of immigration problems, 10-year passport. Yeah, so the golden visa program in Portugal used to be incredibly attractive as a way to get a pretty cheap EU passport. So basically it was, you get the golden visa, 5 years later you can apply for citizenship, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good. I think it would go like 6 days a year or something like that. Now you have to be a resident for 5 years, and then after 10 years you can get a passport. So it's actually become a very unfavorable program, unless you really want to go to Portugal, obviously. Lark, I have bags of beam. Any advice? Pray. That's the advice. BlackRock is going to custody the Satoshi wallet, according to crypto Twitters. Canada's broken, I'm sure, by slowly the best country. Canada's a beautiful country, man. I've always wanted to spend more time in Canada. My dad lives in upstate New York, and I always, back when I was younger, I was always trying to, Dad, let's go to Montreal for a week. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. Everything's gonna be expensive there, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fair enough. But and then usually when my wife and I, now I'm an adult and can do whatever I want, and have more money and stuff. Whenever my wife and I fly in and out of the USA, sometimes we even fly into Canada because it's closer. My dad lives near Buffalo, so we fly into Toronto. I've always just wanted to go and spend like a week in Montreal or something like that, or just do a decent little road trip, or go to Vancouver, just kind of on the other side of the country. But spend a little bit of time in Canada, man. It looks so beautiful. Lark, are we winning? Not today. Maybe soon. Wait, I missed this part of the conversation. Sue's dated one of Wayne Gretzky's relatives. Let's go. That's awesome. Nice. I gave up asking about Chainlink. We have a geography class, Biz 101, and have a good class, man. I missed your question. Sorry. Can't get to them all. I don't know if you wanted to look at the chart or not, but we looked at it the other day. The chart is still absolutely wrecked on Chainlink. Fundamentally, it is one of the best coins in the market. The problem is the tokenomics don't really support that. It's great tech. It's wildly important tech. It's some of those important tech in the cryptocurrency industry to make everything on chain work. Unfortunately, not a lot of value flows back to the token, and that's been the case for a very long time. There is a staking program they got going, but until they get really aggressive with, something like buybacks or revenue share or something like that, it's going to continue to struggle to catch huge momentum. When speculation comes back, it'll be a speculative coin for trading. Until then, it's not a bad one to hold, quote unquote. It's a blue chip coin, but doesn't have fantastic tokenomics that can really get things pumping. I haven't had an aerodrome bag in ages, man. Mostly just farmed aerodrome. I got some, I bought some spot too, but I mostly just farmed aerodrome. The aerodrome I farmed, made a lot of money on. The aerodrome I bought on spot, not so much. That's fine. Great protocol though. Great protocol. If you want to see my current portfolio holdings, link down below as always, or in the pinned comment over on X. Don't forget, the red light. I did forget that we're going to finish up here, so maybe I won't put it on right now, but yes. Lark, don't fade my comment. Expat, post it again. I'll see if I can get to him. I'm going to go for about 2 more minutes here. Post it again, and I'll see if I catch it. Listen to MC Hammers pray. Let's go. Poke it up. Poked me in the rear. Oh, man. I want to know if the red light works. My hair is thinning. I could wear my hat every show too. Let's go. Let's go. Red light community, man. It is over, bro. What about VeChain? Very, very popular in 2017. They're still doing stuff, shout out to the VeChain guys. It's not like they've given up and walked away. They didn't shut down like Cadena did. Like, ours are going to shut down. They didn't pull a fucking block one, man. Take $4 billion, buy Bitcoin, say, here you go, community. Enjoy the subpar dog shit blockchain that we built for you. It's yours now. Thanks for the $4 billion. EOS, man. EOS. Anyway. Those memes at the beginning. All right, guys. We are going to finish up here for today. I appreciate you guys. I will see you back tomorrow. Peace.